One of the keys to being a successful salesperson is finding a way to be persistent without being annoying. And in this video, I will provide 5 very clear and easy to implement tips to avoid being the annoying salesperson when you're reaching out to prospects. And the first tip is don't talk about your product or service, which might sound like a crazy recommendation to a salesperson who is trying to sell a product or service. But the reason why this is such a critical tip to decrease how annoying you come off when talking with prospects is that the majority of salespeople use a product selling sales pitch, which is primarily them talking about their product or service. And that usually goes something like this. I'm with Websites Designed for You. We provide website design services. Are you looking to redo your website? And while that structure there might sound logical, if a salesperson is trying to sell something, they should reach out and talk to prospects as much about their product as they can. The problem with that is that the prospects you're trying to sell to are getting sold to by a lot of other salespeople. And those other salespeople are most likely reaching out using a product selling sales pitch, talking primarily about their product or service. So when you reach out and start talking about your product, you're going to sound like you're the next salesperson reaching out trying to sell their product, and that is likely instantly be annoying to the prospects you reach. Now, you may hear all of that and think, okay, that makes sense, but if I don't talk about my product or service, what the heck am I going to be talking about when I'm reaching out to prospects? And the trick here is to replace talking about your product or service with talking about the value your product or service delivers. For example, let's say you sell Peloton exercise bikes. And I'm sure you're familiar with these. These are fairly advanced exercise bikes with a lot of bells and whistles. And if you're using a product selling sales pitch, you're likely going to talk about the bike and all of its fancy features and how it all works. But if you shift from decreasing how much you talk about your product and focus more on the value it offers, you would shift from talking about the bike to talking about how the bike makes exercising more fun, and how when exercise is more fun, it's easier to get into a consistent exercise routine. And if you consistently exercise every day, you are more likely to reach and exceed your health improvement targets. And when you exceed those targets, you are going to improve and transform your health and, more importantly, your life. And this shift in focus, not only does this decrease how much you look like an annoying salesperson who's trying to sell something, but this change actually helps you to talk more about what the prospect really cares about, which is what is in it for them. Yes, all of the advanced features are interesting, but what they really care about is improving and transforming their life. And you can focus more on this and the value you offer in the early part of your conversations during your cold calls or in your email messages, and get to the product details later. And another reason why you might be more annoying as a salesperson if you use a product selling sales pitch is that if you're talking mostly about your company and your product and seeing if the prospect needs or wants your product, you're using more of an all about me approach and talking about your stuff mostly. And whether you're talking to people in a sales, business situation, or in a social setting, if you're one of those people who talks mostly about their stuff, their life, their interests, you're more likely to be annoying or at best boring for the person you're trying to talk to. And if you agree with that, if we can make our conversations and our communications more about the prospect and less about us, we can decrease how annoying of a salesperson we are. And if we're going to be talking about the prospect, the most productive thing to talk about is the areas where the prospect is having challenges or where there is room for improvement. Now, the key here is to not just talk generally about what is keeping the prospect up at night or what their biggest overall challenge is. You want to talk about the challenges that your product or service can help to solve. And the first step you need to take is to create a list of pain points your product or service can help to solve, minimize, or avoid. And the best way to get prospects talking about the challenges they're experiencing and the areas where they have room for improvement is by asking good questions. And you may hear that and think, well, that makes sense, but I'm not sure what questions to ask. And it's really simple here, because what we can do is we can take the list of pain points we created in the previous tip, and we can take that list, and for each pain point, we can create a question or two. Not only will asking these questions help you to learn more about the prospects you're talking to and uncover leads and opportunities, but asking these questions instead of just talking about how great your product is will make you look more like a consultant and less like a product pushing salesperson, and that will drastically decrease how much you annoy the prospects you're trying to sell to. So hopefully there's a tip or two in there that can improve how you communicate with your prospects. And if you want to implement these tips, the best place to start is by simply brainstorming a list of benefits that your product or service helps to deliver. And you can use that list to then create a list of pain points and problems your product or service helps to solve, minimize, or avoid. And then you can use your list of pain points to create a list of pain questions that help you to figure out if the prospect has the pain that you can help to solve. And if you want help creating these 3 lists of points and questions, we actually have a sales message brainstorming process that will help you to create the optimum things to say and ask for the product or service that you sell. And that process will create those 3 sets of points as well as other key details you should be communicating. Each of these sets of points creates actually what we refer to as your building blocks. And once you have your building blocks, it's real easy to mix and match those to create a cold call script, appointment script, objection responses, email messages, voicemail messages, and a lot more. And if you're looking at this and thinking, I don't know if I can go through this for my product or service, or if you're thinking, I don't have the time or energy to go through all of this, the really cool thing is that our software of SalesScripter includes AI that will create all of this for you. All you have to do is enter the product or service you sell, and I'm going to use the same product that I mentioned earlier in this video of a Peloton exercise bike. And then you can specify the target audience that you're selling to or that you're going to be communicating with. And then all you have to do is click start. And what is going to happen is SalesScripter is going to work with AI, specifically ChatGPT, and go through each step of our sales message brainstorming process, sending a request over to ChatGPT to say, for this product and this target audience, give me a list of features. Give me a list of how we might be different or better than the competition. Give me a list of ways this product helps this target audience. Give me a list of pain points this target audience might have in this particular area. Give me a list of pain questions to ask, current state questions. Each of these sets are your building blocks. And then what SalesScripter does is it uses your building blocks to provide a full sales playbook, including a library of scripts and email templates. And so in just a matter of seconds, we are able to create a sales script for our product or service, and not just any sales script, but a sales script that decreases the odds of us being an annoying salesperson by helping us to communicate in the most optimum way and in a more consultative way when interacting with our prospects. And that is pretty much it. If you have questions or want more information, the best place to go is salescripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.